Hi, folks. Okay, I'm back. I realized I forgot to do something on the last video, so I'm going to do it very quickly right now. I promised a subscriber yesterday to take a look at seasonality for gold. So let's do that very quickly. We'll go to the dashboard again, and this is stock charts. For those that are members, you can just click here. This is my dashboard. Click right up here and click on seasonality, and we will look at the gold contract. So here is seasonality for gold. This is just gold. This goes back 5 years down here. I'm going to actually go back 12 years right there. So that takes us to, actually go back and then move it back because we're in July right now. So if I keep it here, it's not going to show me the whole year. It's only going to show 6 months for this year. So I'm going to move this back 1 year. And then that takes us to 2013, which was the beginning of the current secular bull market. And what you can see is that July is one of the best months for gold. In fact, it's equal to January, April, and December. And then the next 2 months, it trails off significantly. In fact, in September, it's negative 2.4%, going back all of these years. So back to 2013, gold goes up about 1.5% in July, 1.2% in August, and then down 2.4% in September. So July might be the time for gold to shine. We'll see how that works out. Let's look at it in a little different way. And for this, I'm going to actually move this back over here so we capture everything. Now you'll notice that this changes a little bit because it's only now half a year for 2025. We're only up to July, so we don't know what the data is for the rest of them, but this will help us visualize a little bit what it looks like. So if I click on this, this is a relative chart. So this puts everything starting at 0 in January, and it shows each of the years. So this one right here is where we are right now. And you can see this, let's see, 23, I'm trying to find 23 here. This green one right here that went up so high is 2020. So that's the pandemic year. And then this one right here is, let's see, I kind of have to figure out the colors here. 24? Yeah, that's 24. So this is 24. We went all the way up here. So this is where we are right now. So as you can see, we're kind of trending, following the best years for gold, but we've been going sideways here recently. So that implies that it may go sideways for a little bit longer and then start to head higher. But all of these years, if we go way down here, this is 2016, no, 2013. Yeah, that's 2013. This one all the way at the bottom down here. So that's gold. This is just the beginning of the secular bull market. Actually, if we move 2013 now, these are all the years since then. So another way to look at this, if we look at it like this again, in this case, I'm going to take a look at gold versus the S&P. And actually, I'm going to do gold versus the NASDAQ 100. All right, so now you can see gold outperforms the NASDAQ by a wide margin in September. September is usually the worst month for the stock market. So you can see in September, gold actually outperforms. It does not outperform in July, though. Even though July is the strongest month for gold, it does not outperform the NASDAQ 100. In fact, it's down 2% and it's down again in August versus the NASDAQ 100. So September is the even though September overall is not a great month for gold, this implies that the NASDAQ 100 is going to be terrible in September. Let's move this back again 12 years like we did before. Right here, paints a much different picture, of course. And then move it back again. So now we've got basically, it keeps pace, pretty much keeps pace. Going back 12 years, pretty much keeps pace in August and September, even though it's down. So that means the NASDAQ 100 outperforms gold. July, it actually underperformed significantly, even though gold itself does really well, the NASDAQ 100 actually does better in the month of July. So this compares it to the to different asset classes. And this is what it looks like. We look at it all together. Let's move this back over again. So that's where it is relative to the NASDAQ 100. Let's go back here and now let's compare it just for fun, compare it to Bitcoin. So now let's move this back again. I don't know if we can go back 12 years in this case. Yeah, exactly 12 years right there. Let me go 11 years and move it back one so we can capture the whole year. So now in this case, we're comparing it to Bitcoin. So you can see gold outperforms Bitcoin in the month of August by over 2%, but it underperforms dramatically in July. So Bitcoin performs much, much better than gold in July. And then in August, those flip around. And in September, gold actually outperforms Bitcoin even more in September. But take a look over here at October, minus 18% in October. So in October, Bitcoin significantly outperforms gold in October and all the way into the end of the year, in fact. So that's the way to look at it. So this is the performance of gold going back about 12 years. This one here doesn't account for the last 6 months. That's why I like to move it back a little bit. So that's just a sense for gold, the seasonality of gold versus other asset classes. You can see Bitcoin does really well at the end of the year. Gold does really well in August and September. So that's what it looks like. Just wanted to, I forgot to do that on the earlier video, so I wanted to throw that in real quick. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks.